Chimdinma Nwaigwe is the youngest person in the Leicestershire Law Society's 166-year history to hold the role of president at 33. For the solicitor, the achievement goes far beyond the title.
I'll start by saying I'm grateful to God. I'm a Christian and I believe in the hand of God. So I'm grateful to Him. But it's also evidence of the people that believed in me, people that trusted me, and people that opened doors and gave me opportunities. It's really a reflection of what representation means. I mean, I'm Nigerian and it's mind blowing. I keep telling people that up until now, sometimes it's like a pinch me moment. I still try to pinch myself and I'm like, oh, this is real. So for me, it's not really about just being the first. It's just about what it represents. That leadership in the profession obviously is becoming more and more representative. The talent and service can actually be recognized from any background. It's also evidence of what Nigerians are doing in diaspora. So we've got a lot of Nigerians doing great things, and it feels I'm privileged and humbled to be part of that number in that sense. But for me, mostly it's a responsibility. It's a responsibility to serve well, to lead with integrity, and to ensure that those who come after me find the path a little more open than I found it.
Her journey into law began in Nigeria. A graduate of the University of Abuja, Chimdinma represented the country on the world stage as part of Nigeria's team at the Monston Brown International Client Consultation Competition in the United States, where Nigeria placed second globally. That achievement earned her a partial scholarship to the Nigerian Law School, and she qualified as a barrister and solicitor in 2016.
Growing up, I had big dreams. I I was very outspoken as a young child. I used to argue a lot. It earned me a nickname called Chimdinma, and the translation, that's Igbo. The translation is the one who never loses an argument. And growing up, my parents just sort of encouraged me towards law because they could see that passion. And then at some point, I think when I was in uni studying law, my dad started calling me his chief judge, which was really nice but encouraging as well. And so for me, the Nigerian dream was to qualify as a lawyer, to work in Nigeria, probably get on the bench and just pivot in my career. But I really wanted to make impact.
After completing her national youth service and practicing briefly in Nigeria, Chimdinma moved to the United Kingdom in 2019 to join her husband, who is a doctor. What followed was a complete professional reset. She had to requalify, sit new exams, and rebuild her legal career from the ground up. That challenge was compounded by the COVID-19 pandemic and her first pregnancy.
And then I got married and my husband was here, so I had to move here and then requalify. I was born in Kaduna, which is the northern part of Nigeria, but I moved to the east when I was 8 and then schooled in Abuja. So I did a bit of moving around Nigeria and enjoyed diversity that Nigeria had to offer. And then moving here and seeing the multicultural system, it felt like home to me. It was different. There were differences as well, but that multicultural experience I already had in Nigeria was one of the things that made it easy for me. So transferring my dream, the Nigerian dream to UK, for me was just about making impact. Even though the location changed, my purpose didn't. So yeah.
And, after moving to the UK, you had to requalify as a solicitor. What were some of the biggest professional and personal challenges in starting again in a new legal system? That's even apart from moving to a completely different country, and having to, your family rebuild, make friends, build community and all that.
So the first personal challenge was COVID. I moved in 2019 and COVID hit a few months after that. So everyone, it was a global pandemic. Everyone felt the impact. Everyone was affected. And then what made it worse was the fact that I was pregnant at that point. So it was like my first pregnancy, the first time I was going to be a mother, no experience, and trying to fit into a new system. And then COVID hit. I I struggled to get work experience. I was studying for my exams to requalify. I had to do it remotely pretty much. So that challenge was huge. It was huge. But I've always been a resilient person and I had support. My family were really supportive.
Still ahead, Chimdinma speaks more about requalifying in a new country and the power of representation. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us on the program. Now we continue our conversation with Chimdinma Nwaigwe, the youngest and first Nigerian to preside the Leicestershire Law Society. Enjoy.
But even after qualifying as a solicitor of England and Wales in 2020, doors did not open easily. Many firms were reluctant to recognize her Nigerian legal experience. Her breakthrough came after months of volunteering for a solicitor willing to give her a chance.
But getting my foot in there was difficult. Even after I qualified, a lot of law firms were not willing to give you that opportunity to even see what your Nigerian experience was all about. They didn't appreciate it. They did not know. And a lot of them were not willing to even test it. So it took a while before I finally found a solicitor who was willing to let me have that experience on a volunteer basis. And I was more than happy to do that. And it was after working with her for 6 months that I got my first paid role. Growing up, there was a song by Aliyah I loved and I still love. And it has a line which says, if at first you don't succeed, you need to pick yourself up and try again. And so that was my mindset. I lost count of the number of emails that said, unfortunately, we can't give you this opportunity. Unfortunately, you can't make it. Unfortunately. I mean, the unfortunately became regular. But there was something I did for every email I got, which said, unfortunately, I sent two additional applications. So for me, the unfortunately emails were like a spore, and it was like, what is it, ginger? That's a Nigerian phrase. It encouraged me to keep applying. And I knew that the only real failure for me will be stopping. At the moment I give up, then that's it. So I knew as difficult as it was difficult.
A crucial source of strength was community. Through the Nigerian lawyers in the UK, she found others navigating the same path.
I had a community. So I met someone called Adrio. She's the founder of a community called Nigerian Lawyers in the UK. And it's just really a community of Nigerian qualified lawyers who are currently living in the UK and looking to requalify or follow a diverse path. But as long as you're a Nigerian qualified lawyer in the UK, then you're part of that community. And it was nice because we're able to share our stories together, share our challenges, study together, wrote the exams, qualified, and just started that journey together. Some were ahead of us, so they were able to encourage us and let us know that this is what we also went through, you'll be fine. And then there were others behind us, and we had to pay it forward, obviously. So having that community really helped me. Professionally, it was getting my foot in the door. A lot of things are better now because I think we've got more Nigerians in the UK. The path to qualify now, which is the SQE, is a little bit more inclusive than the QLTS was. I felt discouraged at many points. Again, bringing back to community, I had people speaking life into me. So I had people telling me, it's difficult, but you can do it. You will get there. I had people who had gone through this journey. Some of them looked for jobs 6 months, 1 year. But once you get that one break, all you need is one yes. Once you get that yes, everything falls into place. So for me, it's about what do you want to do? If that's really what you're passionate about, sometimes it might take a little longer to get to your destination, but as long as your eyes are on the prize, keep pushing and you'll get there. So it's persistence, it's patience, and it's surrounding yourself with the right voices. That's what will carry you through. That's what carried me through.
Those lived experiences now shape her leadership. Her presidential theme, No One Left Behind, centers on accessibility, mental well-being, disability inclusion, and suicide prevention within the legal profession.
Personally, from experience, I know what it feels like to be new to a system. I know what it feels like to be the person still trying to find their feet. I know what it's like to not have access or connections or a clear way in. I know what it's like to be the new kid on the block. And trying to fit into a profession which can be quite conservative as law can be difficult. So for me, my theme is all about accessibility in the very practical sense. It's about ensuring that the Law Society supports its members, but also acts as a genuine channel for junior lawyers and students who are coming through the profession. I really just wanted to use my experience and my voice to shape both the present and the future. And all the initiatives have come up. So we've been working very closely with the Junior Lawyers Division. We've been working with the universities. We've been working with, there's even an association called the Pan-African Students Law Association. So we've been working with diverse groups of younger lawyers. But at the same time, because my mission is also to the members of the Law Society, I'm also working with the members of the Law Society to ensure that accessibility and ensuring that the society really supports its members.
For her, mental health advocacy is deeply personal.
I recently lost a friend to suicide, and he was also a solicitor. He was someone who was seemingly doing amazing in his career. But what a lot of us did not realize is that he struggled with his mental health until it got to that point. And it was a really hard reminder to me. It was a reminder of the fact that even though people seem like they're doing excellently well on the surface, a lot of them are struggling. And if you look at the statistics, Law Care says about 69% of lawyers are struggling with their mental health. 69% is a high number. And it's something that people don't usually talk about. People are stigmatized for talking about it. And even with the campaigns and the enlightenment about it, it's still, the numbers are still there. Lawyers are making different decisions these days, but a lot needs to be done. So for me, that gap was it was a hardcore reminder of the fact that a lot needs to be done. Thankfully, my predecessor, Greg, who was president before me, he started a campaign on mental health, and so I've just continued down that line. With disability, diversity in the profession, especially when it has to do with disability, it feels like it's been neglected for a while. The 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 statistic says that 1 in 4 people in the UK live with disability, and yet only a small fraction of that are represented in the legal profession. And that clearly tells us that the profession does not reflect the society it serves. And obviously, more work needs to be done.
She hopes her leadership can inspire others, especially women and migrants, navigating similar paths.
I believe representation is incredibly powerful. When I joined the Law Society, I remember seeing Gina. So in 2022, Gina, she's of Black heritage, she's Black, and she was the first Black president of the Leicestershire Law Society. And I remember looking at her and thinking to myself, if she can be here, then maybe one day I can do it. I didn't know it was going to happen very soon. But I remember that seeing someone who looks like me in a position like that just opened up a world of possibilities. And for me, it made it feel achievable and not distant. So I think people see me in this role will be encouraged and will know that it's possible. And maybe not even just people see me now, even with the legacy I'm hoping to leave in the future generations, they might still see me and realize, oh, this happened, and so it's possible. So for me, that impact feels more significant because, especially, I wasn't born here. I didn't grow up here. I moved here in 2019, so I've barely spent 6 years plus. And for me, if my presence in this role encourages law students and lawyers from immigrant or Nigerian backgrounds to believe that they belong and that leadership is possible for them, then for me that really matters.
And I also want to, bring the focus to women as well, those dreaming of leadership roles in global institutions. What would you say to them as an encouragement?
So, I'm a mom. I've got 2 young children, and as we discussed earlier, my oldest is 5. I'm a wife. I'm a practicing solicitor, so I've still got my law career. I'm currently studying to become a notary public. I'm in my second year, and I'm the president of Leicestershire Law Society. It's not easy. I'll say it's not easy. There are days that I feel overwhelmed. There are days that I feel exhausted. But what I've learned is that difficult doesn't mean impossible. We have amazing women like Dr. Kunje Iwala and Chimamanda Adichie doing things, showing us that you can actually balance family and career. And those are really inspiring people I look up to. So for me, I think you just have to be intentional. You have to be disciplined. You have to be kind to yourself as well. And my encouragement to young Nigerians, especially women, will be this. Don't wait for the perfect moment because there will never be a perfect moment. If you set your mind to keep showing up, even imperfectly, you'll be surprised at how much you can do.
As her presidency continues, Chimdinma hopes to leave behind more than a historic first.
So at the end of my presidency, I hope it's clear that the society has become more open, more intentional, more connected, and more inclusive. I hope that the members feel supported. I hope that junior lawyers and students feel seen, and conversations on well-being are normal rather than uncomfortable. I would like to leave behind a society that supports initiatives that continue to go beyond one person, and a society that has a culture where people feel like they belong. As for what comes next, I see my presidency as a chapter, not a destination. So I'll continue to serve the profession. I'll develop myself and my practice, and I will use my voice where it can make a difference. Because at the end of the day, leadership doesn't end with the title, it just evolves.